Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to just do a little live and talk about internet marketing. So any questions you guys have. But the reason we're doing this is because we accidentally published our video that normally goes out Monday, 7 a.m. is when all our videos go out. We accidentally published that on Friday.
Yep, it happens. So video went out Friday. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go check it out. In that video, we took Chantel's website. She's teaching virtual piano lessons. She wanted to create a membership. She's got a really cool program going there to teach people virtually on the piano. And she wanted to make a course, and we helped her do it. Launching the course, creating it, launching it, and then now selling it. And it's doing really well. So people wanted to know how it's doing. It's doing really well. She's made several sales already. And the awesome thing about this is it's monthly recurring revenue. That's the best part here. So
yeah, it's not something I would usually recommend somebody start out with a membership site. And it was a jump. She did a lot of the legwork herself, but she still needed a lot of help. And we've had a few people try to jump straight to a membership site. It's tough. I would generally recommend make a little one-off product first, and then you can work into it.
All right. Well, comments starting to come in. Good morning, everyone. Those of you guys joining us here, we're here to answer your questions. So
what time is it in the UK? We must probably getting a lot of people from the UK right now.
Yeah,
isn't it
sometime in the afternoon.
For them? Yeah, I think so. Do you guys use Google AdSense? From Aaron Lohia. Well, yes, but not in the way you would think. So Google Ads will sell. In fact, if you're with a premium ad broker, an Ezoic, AdThrive, Mediavine, they're using Google's platform to sell ads, right? 9 out of 10 of the ads that display on the page will be from Google's network. But Google AdSense specifically, where you are just getting your code from AdSense and putting it on your page, not at all. It just pays pennies compared to what we get from the other.
And one thing I found is that if you use Google Script to automatically place ads for you, which seems super convenient, it will slow the heck out of your website. It is some of the worst script I've seen in terms of slowing down your website. So I wouldn't use it for that. I would just wait until you can get on Ezoic. You get a lot better payouts here.
Whoa, this thing moves fast. It's so hard to even read. It moves so fast. How do you determine a niche's CPM? So you're getting into a new niche and you want to know how it's going to do on ads. So I wouldn't say that ads necessarily go niche by niche. It's more audience by audience. For example, you can write about cars, and one website is about, tuning up high performance vehicles for racing, and another one is about buying family SUVs, and they're just drastically different RPMs. So it comes down to the specific articles on your website that are bringing in the traffic, and who are those people, and do people want to really advertise to that person?
Camper Report, we talked about its CPM being very, very high, between $25 and $35 per 1,000 page views. But I recently saw another website in the RV industry that was earning about half that. It just really depends on the audience.
It really does. That's not us trying to dodge or not give a specific answer. It's just that we've seen so many same industry, drastically different RPMs.
And so since you can't know, just focus on building an audience that's advertiser friendly, an audience that has free time and disposable income, create content that's just really friendly to ads that no brands. It doesn't have anything really at all kind of controversial or even overly kind of grungy and rustic. Even that seems to lower the CPM. If you have something very brand friendly, it's going to do well.
Jorge Fontan says, I love how you guys cut the crap and get to the real deal issues. I just changed my domain name and lost over 50% of traffic. Have 301 set up. Any thoughts? I'm an idiot for doing it. Oh, I'm so sorry this happened. We've seen such strange issues when we've moved domain names. We have moved domain names. So the way you do it is you create the carbon copy of the site on the other domain name, so it's exactly the same. Then you set up 301 redirects from the old site to the new one. And really, you only have to set up one, a wildcard redirect. So it's incomeschool.com, move to whatever.com, and then everything after that also goes. Does that make sense? Now if anybody goes to an old link, it immediately pushes them over. Then you go to your Google Search Console, you notify Google, say, hey, this site is the old site, this is the new one. After that, you've done everything right. There's nothing else that you can do at this point. But we have seen examples where we moved over and we didn't lose one page view ever. It just perfect. It moved over. We've seen issues where it died for 6 weeks and then it came back. And we've seen issues where we moved the domain, again, all the same way, and it just died and never returned. And so what we've been saying is, if you want to move domains, roll the dice and throw them out there, and we'll see.
Yeah, it makes sense if it had pretty good success.
Or if it's early and you don't care.
Right, exactly. It is a roll of the dice.
Oh boy.
Okay, this is one, I've seen a couple versions of this. This person asks, why did you sell your website? Is blogging no longer effective? Another person
watch our video from 2 weeks
another
ago.
person asks, is blogging going to die? So yes, go watch our video 2 weeks ago where we do a follow-up on the website. You just said, is blogging
going to die? Yes.
Yes, no. No. Okay, go watch our video from 2 weeks ago. You can see the update on those websites that we sold, and that should give you an understanding of how we feel about blogging. No, it's not dying, but as it's always done, it's changing. It's always changing, and it is changing rapidly. Things that you do today should not be the same things you were doing even 2 years ago. So you just need to stay up to date on it, and that's what we're here for, is to help you do that.
Do we recommend starting out with an Amazon niche site? No, we don't make Amazon niche sites at all anymore. If Amazon makes sense as a monetization method for you, great. But in general, they're not paying what other programs are. And we think in just about every niche, there's something that's going to pay better than Amazon at this point. And so, no, that's not our focus. And we have some links out there just because we've been doing stuff forever, but we aren't making stuff targeted to Amazon anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a really limiting frame of mind for that. Somebody asked, do we look at ROI for each specific article for affiliate sales and such? No, I don't look article by article. I think that would be depressing. Because frankly, some articles are going to perform really, really well, and some are not going to underperform. And you can't necessarily know which ones are going to do really well and which ones aren't before you write them. And so we write all of our articles. We do look at which ones did well from the standpoint of traffic and from the standpoint of ROI to come up with new content for the website. But I don't get too upset about the ones that didn't perform well. That's just kind of the cost of finding the ones that will perform really well.
Okay, Emma asked about YouTube Shorts. Very, very interested in YouTube Shorts. So YouTube now, if you'll watch below the main video, it has this strip of vertical videos that are shorts and stories and shorts. Stories have to be done on your phone. You press and hold for 15 seconds to record whatever you want. The shorts are under 60 seconds, vertical format video. And you just put up a regular YouTube video in vertical format under 60 seconds, and you use hashtag shorts in either the title or the description. So we've done several stories, and they do okay. A lot of views, some subscribers. We maybe see 3,000 views and 10 subscribers, that kind of ratio. The shorts are really, really new. It's still very beta right now. Check out the Backfire YouTube channel, which is a channel that we're running on the outdoors. Not the most recent video, but the one before that was one where we're trying out the shorts format. And we made a dedicated good video going for shorts. What we've heard is people doing well on shorts. You make the video, you get your initial audience, and then it waits about a week, and then it starts showing on shorts. And so keep an eye on that video and kind of see how it does. I'm really curious.
Yeah. Nate Jackson asks, how would you approach a dog membership site? Can it work? Well, I mean, can it work? Yeah, sure. I be very, very careful about basic content, like teaching a dog basics. If you have some kind of just awesome tips to share, great. You could make a course and sell it. But I don't know if that keeps people coming back. And so for a membership site, you'd really have to think about, what is the offering? What can we provide out here? Is it some sort of a community? Is it some sort of some sort of ongoing resource. With a membership site, you really have to be constantly providing new value. Otherwise, people don't have a reason to continue to be a member, to continue to subscribe. That's really it.
Jorge, follow up on changing domain names. Is it too late to change back? I don't think we know that.
We've never tried it.
I don't think I've ever tried like, that was bad and trying to go back. Oh, you know what though? One of the sites we just bought did that.
Oh, did they?
I can't remember which one. We bought actually three sites. We'll be talking about them. But one of them did that and it didn't go well.
I would think that like you've changed it over, now changing it back will just look like another change. I don't know. I'd be really reluctant to make a bunch of changes. I just kind of let it roll from here and see how it does.
How often do you have to publish on a micro niche blog? Well, there's no amount of time. Google doesn't really care if an article's coming out 3 times a week, once a week, whatever. The amount of content you'll have will be determined by that, but it doesn't really matter. It's not really important that you are publishing every week or something. It's not like your blog's going to die if you miss 3 weeks. Unlike a YouTube channel, on a YouTube channel, you do not want to miss publishing weeks. You really don't. We see major downturns in a channel. If we go 10 days and then publish again, it takes a while to build that steam back up.
All right, Rob, I'll answer your question. Best source to outsource articles. There's several good options out there.
So Project 24 members doing a great job.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily going to say a specific one. There's Project 24 members who have services, multiple of them. I would look into them.
I guess one thing that I might add is we still have found the best results by directly hiring an individual writer that you can work with over time and who knows something about your niche. That's not to cast any shade to any article writing services. I think our article writing services are wonderful. And that's essentially what we have in Rexburg.
Right.
So I think it's great, but I'm just saying, I think ideally that's what you would want to have.
And I love it when you hire somebody who is more familiar with the industry and not necessarily a professional writer. Mm-hmm. You can teach people how to write, but it's hard to teach people all the background of an industry. So we have found writers right on our websites. By advertising on the website, we're looking for writers. And that's done really well for us.
Dennis, any reason that his articles rank #1 on Yahoo and Bing, but not on Google? I don't know a whole lot about Yahoo and Bing search. I always hear numbers like Bing has 8% of the market or whatever. And I always think like, do they really? Because when I look at blog traffic, they're like 0.001% of what I'm getting from Google. And I don't think you need to do anything drastically crazy to rank on those. I think they're just different search engines and they're going to rank them differently. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
Miguel Estrada is asking, is 1,000 page views a month after 8 months a good amount of traffic for the amount of time?
Really, how much content.
Depends on how hard you've worked, how much content you've put on the website, and how old, the average age of the content. So if after 8 months, you have 3 articles that are 8 months old and the rest of them are substantially newer than that, then 1,000 pages is pretty good. But if you put a lot of content on there about 8 months ago and have 1,000 page views, it might not be as good. So it really depends on a lot of things. But I understand the desire to know, like, am I doing a good job? You're getting people to your website. And so if that traffic is organic, I think that's a good sign.
Sorry, this guy's username is Mangoose. It's just, I don't know why that's funny, but it is. He is asking, what's a good multiplier for selling a website? It really depends on some factors, but I think anywhere between 28 and 42 times multipliers of your monthly net revenue is going to be pretty normal, kind of industry standard. Now, that's a pretty big range, 28 and 42 times. If I'm paying on the 42 side, it's going to be a site with a lot of history in Google, tons of links. It's kind of known in the industry. It's going to have more than one monetization method. It's going to have more than one traffic source. It's going to have low-hanging fruit of something like they've only been doing affiliate and I can just turn on ads. You know, it's going to have maybe membership site built in, things like that. If I'm on the 28 side, It's sites that are seeing kind of downturns. They're maybe seasonal. They're really reliant on Amazon affiliate, etc. Things that just aren't as sure of a bet.
What is your favorite site you've ever had? That's a tough one because I like a lot of our sites for different reasons. Camper Report was cool because it was like it's just a random niche site that I felt like had just enormous potential and grew like crazy.
I might throw it to Knife Up.
That was a cool case.
Knife Up was fun. I just had so many articles on it. We made a huge improvements on the SEO as soon as we bought it. So it was a great return on investment, but also it was fun, just night reviews and stuff. It was easy to write for, I would say.
Cool. Best alternative to AdSense for 10,000 page views a month. Ezoic is, almost nobody's going to take you at that level of traffic. And at Ezoic, you can get really good RPMs or CPMs.
Ezoic's a good company.
They are. We've been more and more impressed over time.
Yep. Oh dear. Okay, I got to just stop it from scrolling.
The best format for selling courses, site or YouTube? Now, okay, in terms of the best format, YouTube, I found to be the easiest place to market a course, simply because there's a higher level of engagement on YouTube. On a blog, the traffic tends to be very transactional. They come, they get their information, they leave. And so that traffic tends to be a lot colder on average. And so trying to pitch them a course or a membership, that's a lot harder sell. On YouTube, people have engaged with you more directly. They see you. There's a higher level of trust built. If you're going to do a course or a membership site, I would definitely get into the YouTube game.
Sorry, I got to block somebody here who's being a little punk.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right. Okay. Does more content help get more traffic? So, yes, of course, it's more lines in the water. But the reason I want to take the question is because I think we sometimes view it as a one-for-one input and result. So if I write 10 articles and I get this much traffic, if I write 100 articles, I would get the exact multiplier of that traffic. And that's rarely how it works for a few reasons. One, people almost always start producing worse content when the scale and the speeds up. It almost always gets worse. And then the second thing I would say is that you start scraping the bottom of the barrel when you're doing the keyword research. You found your best ideas at the start, and now you're like, shoot, I need 100 now. And so you're just cranking stuff out. So usually your return on investment will get worse. As you get more experienced, though, in blogging, and you recognize these issues and you're guarding for them, traffic can actually get a lot better over time with each input of an article, because now you have data on what worked and what didn't work on this particular website.
Another question here, in 2020, should you have one big blog for EAT or multiple small blogs for diversification? To me, that really depends on sort of where you're going with this. Managing multiple websites can get very difficult, especially if it's still a side gig for you. If this has become your full-time thing, managing multiple smaller niche websites isn't that hard. But for us, when we consider a website small now, we're not thinking about a website where we write 30, 40, 50 articles and then never touch it again. We're usually thinking more like 75 to 150 articles. That's kind of a complete website that you could then go back about once a year and sort of battleship the content to try to keep your rankings at the very top. But you're really covering, 75 to 150 topics with that blog. I think that's a great approach. And if you can manage 3 or 4 of those, yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great way to go. I love the diversification. But if that's not something that you can do, you don't like jumping back and forth between projects, it's a lot easier to build up one and be really successful with it. And by building it up, I don't mean proliferating content like Jim was saying. I mean just staying really on top of it, doing YouTube, being on podcasts, and just being really active in the industry. That could do a lot and potentially make even more money than the diverse aspect. And so you can diversify your income streams, and you can diversify the marketing, and still have a very safe business.
You heard me first time, says they're selling t-shirts and can't think of any pillar posts or staple posts for them. Pillar and staple, I don't know specifically on there. I'd have to take some time to think of. But I will give you a couple ideas and also anyway. What about like questions on Gildan t-shirts? So like the cheapo Gildan t-shirts, like what about some specific questions there? Like, do Gildan t-shirts fit large or small? Are Gildan t-shirts boxy? Are Gildan t-shirts, thick? Are Gildan t-shirts soft? Questions like that I think it's such a popular brand that like every t-shirt shop on the planet is going to kind of be using. Yeah. Or what's a better quality shirt than Gildan or something like that. I think a lot of questions there. Now, you'll notice those are all response post kind of topics, right? And in a lot of niches, that's how it goes. Now, there will be some pillar posts that you definitely need to come by, that you definitely need to write, what's better, screen printing or whatever. That may be more of a pillar post. But in some niches, it's just all response posts, or in some niches, it's all pillar posts. There will be some that you can write 10 to 10 to start out, but as you continue on, it can just change. Oh my, I'm from Egypt. I love Egypt. I went to Egypt. That was the coolest country I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Egypt is awesome and not enough people go there.
Jasper's asking us to go to India sometime. I would love to go to
India. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I have an uncle that lived in India for years. It was pretty awesome. They love that country, so try that out too.
Are AMP pages blocked in some countries? Not as far as I know.
I've never seen that before.
Mark McCune says, "Hey guys, just joined Project 24 last week, and I'm excited to begin. Loving the material I've checked out so far. Cheers, Mark from Belfast,
Thanks,
Northern Ireland. Thanks, Mark. That was really nice." Okay.
And Amin, no, I have never made an Arabic website, but my Arabic is really bad. I know like 4 words.
Habibi, I can say that. Kids. Wondering what my snippets are different from what I've written. Is there anything I can do? Okay. So Google, so you're writing your answer paragraph, your answer target in the article, and then Google sometimes will grab a different area of the article to be the answer target on Google search. There's nothing you can do to like control it to say this is the snippet, there's no tag, nothing. It's just grabbing it from the article. But we did find, we searched through our previous articles, searched through them, and we couldn't find a single instance where one of our articles that won the snippet had grabbed any other area other than what we had designed to be the snippet. And so what I would say is if this is happening consistently to you, there's probably something you're doing in writing your answer targets that's knocking them out. And we have a course on snippet optimization in Project 24. It is punchy, short, and to the point on each lesson, and it is super essential. If you have an existing blog right now, Project 24 will pay for itself just by watching that course. I'm telling you, that is SEO in 2020.
Yeah. The question came in, is it better to have a static homepage or a blog roll as your homepage? To me, this really depends on what the purpose of that page and the website is. You'll notice that on an Income School website, we have a static homepage. Why? Well, because that page is really a landing page for everything, right? People go to incomeschool.com. They don't want to see a blog roll. They want to see what this company's about and what we have to offer. If you have just, a niche website, a camperreport.com type website that's just full of awesome content, then a blog roll works just fine. But I think once you start to have an offering, besides just affiliate products and stuff, once you start to have offering, I think it starts to make sense to have a homepage where people can find your offerings right there on the homepage. Homepages do get a lot of traffic, and so take advantage of that.
Jaspir Chodhari says, which hosting platform for 50,000 page views a month? We always start sites on Bluehost. It's a great place to go. People like freak out about Bluehost. I think that maybe don't understand the industry as much. Every hosting company offers us an affiliate program. A lot of them bigger than a Bluehost. And so every time we even use the word Bluehost, people are like, oh, they're sold out. Like we could get more, but the thing is we've tried several of them and they're not beginner friendly. It's not as easy to start the website. And so I think everyone should start on Bluehost. It is cheap, it works, they have excellent support, and their interface is great. At 50,000 page views, even 30,000 page views is about the time that we start saying, yeah, it might be time to start going for a little faster performance. And for that, we like WPX and Big Scoots if you're really, really big. You can go to incomeschool.com, click on tools and hosting, and you can see our exact recommendations and kind of our breakdown of when we would choose each one and why.
The Savvy Heart says that they just started putting ads on their blog at about 30,000 pages a month. CPM and RPM are really low. Like there's a decimal there, so I don't know if she's saying 15 cents or $15. $15 would be pretty normal. If you're looking at 15 cents per 1,000 page views, that's really, really, really bad. $15 per 1,000 page views is pretty normal. And so I would just expect that. If it's more on the 15 cent side, that doesn't make sense to me, unless it's like AdSense, which that's even low for AdSense. But then I think we need to be looking at our content and just how advertiser friendly is this.
Yeah, and eventually you can raise it up. Hopefully you're on an ad network that will tell you page by page what your RPM is. I know AdThrive does this, and I know Ezoic does this. I don't know if Mediavine does or not. But then you can see what are your real high paying pages and write more of that kind of content. With lead gen cases like Eric with $4,900 a month from 8,000 visits, how do you find partners and offers? Networks in Offer Vault seem quite spammy, to be honest. Lead gen is tough. It's not a very well-developed industry. Some industries are blocked from it, and at least in the United States, medical stuff, you just can't. You can't pay for a lead. It's not legal. Some legal services also have restrictions there, but there are many other services, home painting, etc., that it's not a very well-established industry. But look at who is there. If it's a building kind of stuff, maybe look at an Angie's List, something like that may not be specifically lead gen, but you may get an affiliate to their lead gen service or something like that. But it may also be growing to the size that you can reach out directly to a company. If you write about real estate in a particular city, yeah, you should reach out to some real estate offices or solar, home security, places like that somebody would pay the lead. Maybe you just got to reach out to them directly.
In Eric's case, I know he does a lot of directly reaching out to people. It's not something, he's not just selling them to a network. A Noble asks, thoughts on Oxygen Builder? I haven't used Oxygen as a builder.
Sorry,
so either. I can't really speak to it at all. I've used Elementor and I've used Divi. I've used Cornerstone. I like Divi's page builder. It's pretty awesome. Elementor is good too.
Nikita Patil says, just starting in Project 24, the niche is gardening, and wrote a few response posts. What do you think of the niche in the long term? It's great.
Yep.
Super evergreen. People spend money on it. The seasonality can definitely be an issue, and so you may want to work on some like in-home, what do they call those little micro garden things anyway, kind of window box gardening kind of stuff that people could do during the winter months as well. But I think it's a great place to go. You could also add some cooking to the website of things you're making with the spoils of your garden, stuff like that. Should you advertise your blog on Facebook and YouTube? No, you should not, unless you're extremely well monetized. The problem is you're going to be trading quarters for nickels. You may charge you whatever 80 cents per click from your Facebook ad, and then somebody gets to your website. You've paid 80 cents to get them now, and you may earn 2 cents from the ads. And so it can work really well if you have a fantastically well monetized page. For example, let's say you have a page on corporate software solutions for X, right? It's something like this software is super expensive. They have $1,000 affiliate program. That could be a recipe where you're like, okay, I'm going to pay for ads at 80 cents a click, and I may actually get a decent ROI here. I've certainly seen cases where it worked. I've done lots of Facebook ads to info products in the past. Ads are so competitive now that you got to get really good at them to be able to get an ROI. Most people are going to be trading trading what you're putting in is going to be greater than what you're getting out.
I absolutely would not use ads, by the way, to like get initial traffic to a blog.
No.
Assuming that it's going to help the blog grow faster. It doesn't work that way. Someone asks, they're in the gambling niche. Will income school still help? They want to join, but they want to know if it's going to help. Yeah, I mean, independent of what your niche is. The principles in Project 24 are going to be really beneficial.
Okay, we have somebody with the username Big Tuna, and I love The Office like a lot. Is Reddit hard to beat in some geek niches where Reddit always ranks high? So what I would say is if you're seeing not just Reddit, but really wherever the forum is hosted, when you're seeing kind of user-generated content ranking, usually it's very, very beatable. There are some cases where user-generated content is just a fantastic search result. For example, what's it like to go through chemotherapy? That's whatever, something where I really want to see what it felt like for people, right? Now that may be maybe it's a poor example because it's medical, that we may see something different, but like that is a kind of search that does just call for user experience. And so the way to beat that may just be your own very in-depth individual experience of I've gone through this and this was my story kind of post could do very well in something like that. So no, I don't think Reddit is particularly hard, but you might think like, why is Google showing a forum here? Is it because there's nothing else to show, or is it because this is actually a good result?
And I think that that's key, is the answers are not definitive. It's not like forums are always low quality content.
It's Google, a sign of it, but it's certainly not an absolute.
Google is trying to serve people with the best content in the right format for what the question is. And so if the search intent really is like, I want to know what multiple people's experience was with this, then user-generated content is going to make a lot of sense. Let's see. Someone here. Oh, does it hurt SEO if I go back and edit an article, add affiliate links, edit for grammar, that kind of stuff? If you're adding a few affiliate links and editing for grammar, no. If you're massively overhauling an article, it's practically like writing a new one. It's probably going to get kind of retested, re-put through the ringer. And if you were ranking really well before, you could see a drop, at least in the short term. Theoretically, if it was doing really well before and you improved it, it should come back to where it was or better. But that's not always going to be the case. But if you have a high-performing article and just want to add some affiliate links, that isn't going to really, I mean, adding a couple of links isn't going to make a big difference.
When is the Acabado theme coming?
About a year
ago. It's released.
And we've been updating it, and there's new updates coming out here soon.
It's getting constant updates. Awesome. It's a big deal for us. So we are really pouring back into that. Constant updates will be happening to that. You know, I don't know if I wanted to take this, but I think I'm going to, because I have seen maybe 2 or 3 people mention it, and I haven't heard anybody mention it in a long time. And that's the issue of the KGR. Multiple people have taught this. It's not just one, where it's essentially a formula that you're putting your article ideas into, and it's supposed to spit out whether you should write it or not write it. So what we did is we're interested in every technique. And if there's something out there that's better than what we're doing, we are 100% on board and we want to do it.
Yep.
And so what we did is we took our articles that we saw how they were actually performing. Like, we just saw what they were doing. But then we followed the KGR formula to see what would have happened if, would we have written this following the KGR formula? So we're going to the search tools, we're getting the search volume that's never right in there, and we put it into the formula, followed everything exactly how we were supposed to. And we put it in there, and like half of our very best articles, it told us like, don't write this. And we were just like, it just didn't work. It just didn't. I mean, like, we could just prove this did not function properly. And the reason is the numbers that go into the formula. If you could know them, it probably would be very valuable.
Right.
But when we looked at it, we're like, the search volume, we look at all the tools, at how many people are searching this, and then we compare to the traffic we actually get when we're ranking there.
Not even close.
It's not right, even when you take click-through rates into account, etc. And so in our opinion, it's not something we use. Totally respect everybody else who does. There are a lot of different ways to succeed online, and I guarantee we're doing some things that are inefficient and we learn from others. Totally open to it, but that one specifically, I feel that we have just all but proven that it's not a good idea.
Is updating PHP critical for WordPress performance and page speed? I just think you should update PHP. I think it's best to keep it up to date. I haven't necessarily found that updating them to the most recent version is absolutely critical for page speed. But I mean, if your theme's compatible with the latest PHP version, just go to your host and update PHP. You should absolutely do that. I don't think it's going to dramatically improve your page speeds though. So if you have a page speed issue, there's probably something else going on.
Jordan Sakamoto says, any article tips he's writing about choosing email platforms. I would look at what cheaper alternatives you can recommend for email marketing, especially at particular levels. You know, what's the cheapest email platform at 20,000 page views, stuff like that. I think those would do very well, not in terms of huge amounts of traffic, but in terms of conversion rates. And one that I think everybody's ignoring is Sendinblue. I think their marketing's maybe a little behind because you just never hear anything from this company, but they are way, way cheaper and just as good for almost everybody. Now, I say that now, just to be clear, we're not using Sendinblue right now because we had to do some very complex things with our integration of the website and stuff. But we are a 1% edge case of really needing something very, very, very powerful.
Yeah.
But Sendinblue, I mean, can do 98% of what we're doing on an email list.
And the only reason we can't really use Sendinblue is simply because the other tools we're using don't have an integration specifically for Sendinblue. If they did, to me, it's as good as
it's
what we're
using.
Great
service. And and the delivery rates were great. It's a very good service.
At a substantial discount.
If you're ever wondering that stuff, you can just go to incomeschool.com and click on tools. And we not only say what we recommend, we have a video explaining like which one to choose.
Yeah.
It's all there. All right. 10 hours, no.
Not today.
Okay. Just got on Ezoic, Mr. Greenlove. Just got on Ezoic. My blog gets 30,000 page views, but RPM is only 20 cents. I write about home decor. Does ad placement make a difference? 30,000 page views and you're getting 20 cents?
Well, CPM is only 20 cents, so 20 cents per 1,000 page views. Here's what I suspect is if you just got on Ezoic like this week, then okay. Ezoic's their AI has a learning period. It does not take very long to get substantially higher than that. We put a site on Ezoic, and usually within about a week or so, we're earning several dollars, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 per 1,000 page views. So I would be very surprised to see it stay that low. In terms of ad placement, I mean, if you're just blocking all the ad placements, saying I don't want ads here, 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 and here, then I could see that. But Ezoic is testing out ad placements for you. So just kind of set the level of ads you want, kind of the number of ads, and just let Ezoic do its thing. It should get a lot better than that. That's
really crazy number. Contact your ad manager at Ezoic and tell them that, and they'll be able to help you. Adam King says, getting 40,000 page views a month, but struggling to monetize. How much should it be earning? So our general number, just to put something out there, is $1,000 per 30,000 page views. We have sites that have well exceeded it. We have sites that have underperformed it. But that's kind of been like always our goal, is to get there. And sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. But usually we find that that's a good just number to get to. Probably if you just have basic ads and affiliate, you're going to be somewhere around $250 for every 30,000 page views. And then you're going to have some work to do. Maybe make an info product. Maybe you got to find a better affiliate program. But usually you can get up to that 1,000.
Philip Curl asked, any recommended niche for a beginner to try out? I'm first time trying affiliate website. I'm thinking about a coffee niche.
Man, our video from 2 weeks ago.
I know.
Holy cow, that thing was incredible.
Yeah.
The one that we went on for an hour, where we just showed 84 niche sites that were successful. Like, watch that and you see exactly what's working. Not to steal a specific niche, but you just see the kind of sites that are working out for people.
And take that as this starting point for an idea. We have an ideas list of over 1,000 ideas to help you brainstorm that you get if you're on our email list. So there's a lot of brainstorming we've already done for you. Specifically about the coffee niche, there are other sites in that niche, which is fine. I would say, if there's something that if you know something special about it, what's going to matter the most to being successful in any niche is going to be that search analysis and coming up with the topics that aren't, like the t-shirt example Jim gave earlier. You could write about like funny t-shirt design ideas and stuff, or you could write about, are Gildan t-shirts thick and stretchy? Are they uncomfortable? Are they boxy? Do they fit too big or too small? Those are the kinds of questions people are actually likely to Google. Nobody cares about your ideal list of funny jokes to put on a t-shirt as an article. So
Pretam Das says, "You are so rich. Could you give me Project 24 for free, please?" I wanted to read it. I think he's joking, but I wanted to read it because I wanted to just mention I've given Project 24 for free to so many people, like who are close to me in my personal life, and every single time it's not used.
Yep.
Like every single time.
Same for me.
It's not used. And when you get something for free, you do not value it. And I've heard that before and I was kind of like, whatever. It sounds like marketing to me. It's just true. It is just true. If something is valuable for you, go work for it, earn it, and use it, right? Like, I think it is actually damaging to you to get anything free. All this like enter to win this, I never enter. I don't want to win anything. I would like to earn it.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely agree. I would really love a video on Search Console. Okay, we'll take that in consideration.
How would you consider a niche if you don't know much about it? Be honest about it. And I don't just mean in terms of authenticity. I mean, you're going to have an advantage.
Yeah.
Go look at the YouTube channel called Learning DSLR Video from a guy named Dave Dugdale. Now, I don't know him, but I remember his channel I watched a long time ago. Everybody else would be the expert, even if they weren't. And he would make a video and he'd just be like, "Hey, in my last couple videos, a couple of you guys got on my case because I haven't been doing any color grading. And so I set out to learn it. I was a little bit nervous to flip my camera into S-Log 2. I've gone and just learned everything I can, just binge watched and researched all this week. Here's what I've come up with." And then he would give a really smart tutorial. He wasn't looking like an idiot during the teaching, but he wouldn't say he was anything that he wasn't. And he would show it and he'd have really good tips in there. He really had done his homework. And then at the end, he'd be like, "So if I missed anything, please let me know." And like people that were more experienced would like go in there and like, "Ooh, try this next time," and like in a helpful, kind way. And it created this community and the guy just took off. I have no idea where his channel is today, but I just remember seeing that. And that was the best example I've ever seen of somebody who was a beginner who presented themselves right on the channel.
If you're not an actual expert and you present yourself as an expert, everybody who knows more than you will let you know they know more than you in the comments. And it really will. Anyway, especially on YouTube. On blogging, you can kind of just block the comments.
What's up, guys? Hey, Sean. All right. What is the maximum number of affiliate links you should use per page? There's just no number. There really isn't. Do what's best for the user. If, talking about the different products and having a place to link to them is helpful, then do it. I don't think we need to do anything artificial. We haven't seen any like Google is really hammering pages if you have more than 6 affiliate links. We haven't seen anything like that. Just do what's best for the user.
Absolutely. Do you guys recommend web software as a niche for a beginner? Reviewing SaaS software like email marketing tools, web hosting, plugins. There's a fair amount of that out there. Look at the competition and look what...
Especially web hosting.
Yeah, it's a big one. And frankly, web hosting companies have really good commissions,
Mhm.
affiliate commissions. And so the payout's really good, which is why there's so much competition there. So just keep that in mind. And if you have something new to offer beyond what's out there, then yeah, absolutely.
But I think software in general is
Yes,
great.
absolutely.
You know, you're reviewing best scheduling apps for hair salons to put on their website. Or
Oh
something
yeah,
like
that'd be
that.
fantastic.
Awesome, do it. I think it's a great space to be. Just think maybe a little bit more broadly. Maybe just one or two more questions at this point. Eugene Kovalenko says, thanks guys, because of you, I'm making more than $5,000 per month with 160,000 page views in only 13 months.
Guys, take that as motivation.
Boom,
That is
that's
fantastic.
awesome. Maybe we better end on a good note.
I think
That
I
was
like
really
that.
good.
It's a great place to end.
Hey, be sure to go back and check our video that we put out on Friday, because that normally would go on Monday, but we accidentally published it. So don't miss out on that one. It's teaching you how to make a sales page that really converts. And that's using our 10 years of experience trying so many different sales pages and seeing what actually sells info products. So a pretty cool one, especially because it's a new info product that's just putting out there for the first time. So you can see after doing this so many times exactly kind of what we've come up to that we think sells best. Hasta luego. What language is that again?
Spanish.